Hi folks, Flying Doctor here. Once again, welcome. H145 Airbus helicopter produced by Perfomance Group. Somebody in one of the comments of the videos asked me to look into the difference between the track and the heading settings on the autopilot. So this is what we're going to do. Put very simply, what I've done is created some flying conditions that are particularly challenging, where the heading that we will fly will be blown off of as we turn the aircraft into have the winds come across us, and then we can see what track and heading, what adjustments, what's happening when we switch those settings. Now it's on heading at the moment, so this is following this little green bug, as you can see here. We're heading east, and we are just we're in Cambridgeshire, and we're not far away from Duxford Airfield. So just to illustrate first, I'm just going to jump over here, and here you are. What I've done is I've set up a wind layer within the weather of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Not able, obviously, it's not here to show you sort of how to necessarily do that at the moment, but you can add a wind layer. I've added considerable wind layers at sea level and at I think that's I'm not sure what altitude that is. Yeah, up to 7,393 feet, roughly 30 knots westerly wind. Now at the moment we're not seeing much effect from that because we are flying into the wind, so we're flying with the wind behind us. So if I just illustrate that, that's not much easier way of illustrating that by showing you this. So the wind's coming from behind us at the moment, and you can see there's this is using Navimap. There's two slightly different kind of heading images here. One says track and the other says heading. So the dotted line is where we are, where our heading bug is. The track is in reality where we're ending up. Okay, and the autopilot is making adjustments for that. So if I turn into the wind, and I'll do that now as you're watching the map live. So I'm going to turn into the wind. There we are. Bear with me. You'll see that the heading and the track, if I turn south, become vastly different. Okay, that is because it should just settle itself. Yeah, it's just going to settle itself. Right, okay. So you can have a look into the sim. You can see, I'll just show you the change in heading there. So you can just see it here. If we just dial straight in, we're sort of roughly taking a southerly heading. We are on the heading setting. The altitude set and the speed is set. Okay, so the airspeed is set. And so we can see that the impact of that is quite dramatic. Because if we come back and we look at Navimap and we look at our track here, we can see that you can see the aircraft here, can't you? If I zoom right in there, you can see it's kind of being pushed. So the in reality, the heading that we have set is this dotted line here, but the solid line is in the reality of where we are, where we are actually heading, and of course. That means that the simulator is trying to make, or the aircraft trying to make changes for that routinely. So if we move back to the sim here and then we switch to track, you're going to see something that happens to this. Keep an eye, and I'll zoom right in. Keep an eye on that green marker there, because it's going to jump. Okay, if I click track. There we go. We see the green marker just jumping to the right. Okay, and what's happening here is that the autopilot is, yes, aware of the heading, but mindful that actually of the heading that we set, and has taken that as well. Actually, if we want to retain that bearing in the light of this wind, then we need to make that kind of adjustment. And you can see that here being worked out. You need to look for a decent period of time to get an idea of it. So there's the Navimap there, and you can see there's a change in where we are in fact headed. So yeah, and if I look to the instruction menu, it just says heading track or heading track hold works the same as fixed wing heading hold. However, it will use roll to accomplish the task at higher speeds than yaw while in hover domain under 30 knots. Track will consider the current wind and pick a heading that allows a straight line to be flown despite a crosswind. So simple as that, folks. Hope you appreciated that, and it added a bit of. We'll switch back onto heading mode, and a bit of clarity there. So yeah, if I switch to track, I just need to be aware I'm in track. But if I'm looking to say just to work with a chart, pick the heading first, then press track, and it'll bear in mind the other conditions. Okay, hope that's helpful. Oh, sorry, I'll jump across and just show you that again. So yeah, just to emphasize, so what you want to do is if you're working with a chart, pick a heading first. Then if you pick track, it will bear in mind the weather conditions and adjust your track to find the heading that you actually were originally looking for given the weather conditions. Okay, hope that helps.